Once upon a time, in a bustling city filled with tall buildings and louder ambitions, there lived a woman who believed that beauty and charm were the keys to success. Her name was Abena Serwaa, and Abena had a dream, not of working hard, not of climbing step by step, but of capturing the attention of one specific man, the CEO of Kasapa Holdings. She didn't know his face. She never spoken to him, but she told herself, if I can make the CEO look at me, my life will change. Oh. But what she did not know was this: the man she insulted every day, the man she ignored, the cleaner she looked down on, was the very person she was desperately searching for. Abena Serwaa was known everywhere for her beauty, her obsession with status. When she got a job as a receptionist at Kasapa Holdings, she stood at the gate on her first day and whispered to herself, "Forget colleagues, forget work. My goal is to win the CEO." Every morning, she dressed like she was going for a red carpet event. Expensive perfumes, bold makeup, high heels that hit the tiles like she was announcing her arrival. Her coworkers rolled their eyes, but she did not care. In her mind, power attracts beauty. I must shine. Every morning, as she floated into the lobby like a queen, someone else pushed the mop across the floor. A humble cleaner named Kojo, quiet, calm, simple. "Good morning, Madam Abena," he would greet, but Abena never replied. To her, he was invincible, and nobody, someone beneath her ambition. One day, Kojo accidentally splashed a tiny bit of water on her shoe. Before he could apologize, she snapped, "Are you blind? Do you know the price of this shoe?" Kojo bowed his head. "I'm sorry, madam." But Abena hissed and walked away. If only she knew she had just insulted the most powerful man in that building. Abena spent the next few weeks plotting ways to accidentally meet the CEO. She lingered around the executive offices. She carried documents she wasn't asked to carry. She even sent herself flowers just so people would whisper about her. But strangely, she never saw him. Extra time, she dressed extra beautifully. The CEO didn't show up. Every time she planned to bump into him, he wasn't around. Every time she wanted to pass by the executive floor, the doors were locked. But one person was always there: Kojo, the cleaner, watching quietly, sweeping quietly, smiling quietly. Abena never understood it. One evening, as she was closing from work, Abena overheard two managers whispering, "Have you seen the CEO lately?" "No, but he is in the building. He is observing everything quietly. They say he's watching stuff without announcing himself." Abena froze. Watching? Quietly? Suddenly she became paranoid. She started acting sweeter to managers, pretending to help, pretending to be humble. But the only person she didn't treat well was the cleaner. One bright morning, Kojo was mopping near the reception. Abena intentionally walked across the wet floor, slipped silently, and shouted, "Kojo, do you want to kill me?" Staff turned to look. Kojo lifted his hands confused. "Madam, please, it wasn't intentional." Before he could finish, she hit him with her handbag. "You low-class people! If I report you to the CEO, you will lose your job instantly." Everyone gasped, but Kojo didn't defend himself. He simply looked at her with eyes calm enough to unsettle her heart. Just then, the HR manager rushed out. "Kojo, please, the board wants to see you in the conference room immediately." Abena smirked. At least he will be punished. But the HR manager turned to her with a strange expression. "Madam Abena, you don't know who Kojo is, do you?" Abena frowned. "What do you mean?" 5 minutes later, Abena was summoned to the same conference room, confused but proud. She walked in confidently, but the moment she entered, her legs almost gave way. At the head of the long table sat Kojo. No mop, no overalls. He wore a perfectly tailored suit, a gold watch, and a calm expression. Abena's heart stopped. The director stood up. "Good morning, Mr. Ajiman." Abena's mouth dropped. Kojo was not the cleaner. He was the CEO, the real CEO. He looked at her and spoke gently. "Miss Abena, I have been observing all staff. I came as a cleaner because that is when people show their true character." Abena began shaking. I didn't know. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't." But he raised his hand. "This company values humility, compassion, and respect. You showed none." He picked a folder and slid it across the table. Her termination letter. Tears filled her eyes. "Sir, please, I can't change." But he stood up calmly. "You were chasing power, yet you couldn't honor the person you thought had none." That was the end of Abena's job. No recommendations, no second chances. Her dream of impressing the CEO had destroyed her instead. And as she walked out of the building with her handbag shaking in her hand, she passed the mop and bucket Kojo once used. For the first time in her life, she realized respect is not about class. Power is not always dressed in a suit, and the people you look down on may be the very ones who decide your fate. The moral lesson of this story is that treat everyone with respect. The person you look down on today may be the one you will need tomorrow. Power doesn't make a person important. Character does. Many chase positions but forget the simple truth. Respect is earned through kindness, not title. How you treat people who can do anything for you reveals who you truly are. Anyone can act nice to a boss, but only genuine people show respect to cleaners, guards, drivers, and juniors. Humility is a crown that never falls off. It doesn't matter how beautiful or educated you are. Without humility, everything collapses. And never assume someone's worth based on what they are wearing. A man's overall today might be a millionaire in disguise tomorrow. Life tests characters, not eyesight. Pride blinds you. Humility opens door. Abena's pride destroyed the very opportunity she was chasing. Had she been humble, she would have risen naturally. I hope you enjoyed this story.